You've seen it on British roads, maybe even driven one. But the Austin 1100-1300 has a hidden side few people talk about. From clever innovations to serious flaws, today we uncover the truth about this iconic little car. The Austin 1100 and 1300 were ahead of their time in many ways, and one of their most forward-thinking features was the availability of a fully automatic gearbox. At a time when most small cars were strictly manual, this option made the car especially appealing to those looking for an easier, more relaxed driving experience, particularly in city traffic. BMC's engineers worked hard to design a compact, 4-speed automatic unit that could fit alongside the engine in the car's unique transverse layout. It was a clever bit of British engineering, and when it worked well, it offered smooth and comfortable motoring. Of course, as with many early innovations, it had its learning curves. The automatic system was sophisticated for its day and brought a touch of modern convenience to everyday driving. Many drivers appreciated not having to wrestle with the clutch and gear stick, especially in stop-start urban conditions. It was also a popular choice for older motorists and those who wanted a calmer ride. While not as common as the manual models, the automatic versions showed the ambition and forward thinking that made the car such a success. It's one of those charming details that add to the character of the car, one that aimed to bring luxury features to everyday families. One of the more common quirks of the Austin 1100 and 1300 series was its sticky choke cable, a small but often frustrating issue that many owners came to know well. In an era before fuel injection, carbureted engines required a manual choke to enrich the fuel mixture during cold starts. The choke cable in the car was controlled via a pull knob on the dashboard, which the driver would engage when starting the engine from cold. However, over time, the choke mechanism had a tendency to become stiff or stick entirely, making it difficult to operate smoothly. In many cases, owners found themselves pulling the choke with considerable effort, only for it to fail to return properly, leading to overfueling, poor idling, or even engine stalling once the car was warmed up. This was especially problematic in winter months, when the choke was used most frequently. The issue stemmed from moisture ingress, cable routing, and wear in the sheath or cable mechanism. Lubrication could help temporarily, but without regular maintenance, the stickiness often returned. Some owners resorted to DIY fixes, or even replacing the cable entirely. While not a deal-breaker, the sticky choke became one of those classic car traits, annoying yet somehow part of the car's character. It serves as a reminder of a time when starting a car was a more tactile and involved process. One of the most innovative and celebrated features of the Austin 1100-1300 was its hydroelastic suspension system, developed by British engineer Dr. Alex Moulton. Unlike traditional steel springs or leaf spring setups, hydroelastic used a combination of liquid and rubber components to deliver a uniquely smooth and refined ride, something rare in small family cars of the era. The system linked the front and rear suspension units on each side of the car via fluid-filled pipes. When one wheel encountered a bump, the movement was partially absorbed and distributed to the opposite end, reducing pitch and body roll. This made the ride feel far more composed, especially on rough or uneven roads. For passengers, it meant a level of comfort more associated with larger, more expensive cars. The car hydroelastic setup was particularly effective in absorbing potholes and smoothing out urban roads, contributing significantly to the car's popularity as a practical family vehicle. The system required minimal maintenance, though over time, leaks or loss of fluid pressure could lead to sagging or uneven ride height, issues that are still managed today by classic car owners. While the Austin 1100-1300 was a familiar sight on British roads, few people know that it had a secret twin built under license in Spain. Manufactured by Audi, the Spanish versions were nearly identical in design but featured local adaptations to suit the market. Authy produced the car from 1966 to the mid-1970s, offering models like the Morris 1100, MG 1300, and even a luxurious Austin Deluxe, all built at its factory in Pamplona. Though they retained the hydroelastic suspension and front-wheel drive layout, Spanish-built versions often had unique interior trims, badges, and slight mechanical tweaks. These cars were marketed as upmarket and technically advanced, standing out in a market dominated by simpler designs. To give the Austin 1100-1300 a touch of class, certain models came with what looked like a polished wooden dashboard, but in reality it was nothing more than a vinyl sticker with a wood grain pattern, carefully applied to a metal or plastic panel. This clever cost-saving measure allowed BMC to suggest luxury without the expense of real wood veneer. While it looked convincing from a distance, time often revealed its true nature. Heat and sunlight could cause the sticker to fade, bubble, or peel, leaving behind a patchy, worn appearance. Owners sometimes replaced it with aftermarket options or painted over it entirely. The Austin 1100-1300 had many clever features for its time, but an effective heater wasn't one of them. While it technically had a heater, drivers quickly learned that warm was a generous description. On cold winter mornings, the best it could do was blow out a gentle puff of lukewarm air, just enough to fog up your glasses, but not enough to clear the windscreen. Owners often kept an old cloth or sponge in the glove box to wipe condensation off the inside of the glass, especially before the engine warmed up, which took a while. For many, it became part of the winter driving ritual. Still, the heater's polite attempt at warmth somehow added to the charm of the car. While many classic cars from the era suffered from corrosion, the Austin 1100-1300 was especially vulnerable due to minimal rust-proofing and poor drainage design. Water would easily collect in hidden areas like the sills, floor pans, and subframes, leading to severe structural rot over time. What made it worse was how discreet the damage could be. Owners often discovered major corrosion only when parts began failing or during MOT inspections. Even low-mileage cars weren't safe if stored in damp conditions. Many otherwise mechanically sound 1100s were scrapped because the cost of body repairs outweighed the car's value. Rust, quietly and persistently, claimed thousands of these once popular British classics. The car could be started without pressing the clutch pedal. If the gear lever was accidentally left in gear, turning the key could cause the car to jerk forward unexpectedly. This surprised many new drivers, and even caused a few minor accidents in driveways or garages. While it made cold starts quicker, it also required careful habits. Drivers quickly learned to double-check the gear position before turning the ignition. It was one of those quirks that gave the car its unique charm. Slightly risky, but memorable in its own old-school way. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe for more classic car stories.